Hey, this is Doc Yates. I'm a naturopathic doctor, registered acupuncturist, and a kinesiologist, owner of the Yates Naturopathic Clinic, and the founder of the interactive health website, Able Health. And this is the Simply Health Podcast, a show for females where I work to simplify and demystify the secrets of achieving optimal health naturally, based on my own experience in working with thousands of female patients over the past 15 years of my clinical practice. Welcome to Simply Health. Hey, this is Doc Yates, and thanks for joining me on the drive today for the Simply Health Podcast, where we spend our time discussing how to make the lives of perimenopausal and menopausal females better, using the use of natural treatments and remedies. And today I want to talk about those natural treatments and remedies and discuss the importance of why it is so critical that you take a natural approach when you can. And really, here's how I look at it. People often always want to kind of tie conventional medicine and naturopathic medicine as like put them against each other, as if it's like this battle against each other. And it's not like that. The way I look at it is the answer is always to take the remedy or the treatment strategy or principle. So I'd like to probably emphasize the word treatment principle that gives the best effect with the least amount of side effects. And almost always, in my experience, that is naturopathic medicine. There's going to be exceptions to that rule. There's without question going to be exceptions. For instance, you get in a trauma and you need surgery, or in any cases that you need, say, surgery especially, then you're going to be going for conventional medicine. Does naturopathic medicine still play a role? Yeah, you can do things to help speed up your wound healing time, prevent infection, all of those things. But for the vast majority especially of any type of chronic condition, or if you're dealing with prevention, naturopathic medicine trumps every time. So let's discuss that. What are the differences that you will see between just taking typically a pharmaceutical, which is the conventional method of treatment, versus the naturopathic approach? Because it's not just about the treatment. Again, it's the principle. For instance, a perfect example. If we're comparing just two treatments, say aspirin and white willow extract, aspirin's going to give better pain-killing effect. White willow extract, which is kind of the naturopathic equivalent, will also give pain-killing effect. Both can be used for fevers. But aspirin has much higher side effect profiles. For instance, the fevers things for kids, you have worries about Ray's syndrome. White willow, much less side effect profiles, much less likely to cause problems with ulcerations in the stomach. But that's not even what it's about, because it's not just about substituting a pharmaceutical for a natural remedy. That is not the principles of naturopathic medicine. The principles involve, one, the most important thing, looking deeper for the root cause. And the root cause often doesn't even involve remedies. Sometimes it's just making dietary changes. Sometimes it's changing mindsets. It's getting to the root cause rather than just say, oh, you have pain, therefore let's take a painkiller. Why does the person have pain in the first place? Is there an imbalance? Are they creating too much inflammation? So, which was point number one, is that when you treat naturopathically, you get not just a better response, but you get a better response for the whole body. So if someone had, say, shoulder pain and they went to see a doctor and they were given, an NSAID or a painkiller for their shoulder pain, whereas if we figured out, because there's an alignment issue in their shoulder, or it's because of something in the opposite hip, by correcting those imbalances and then correcting the shoulder pain, not only is the shoulder going to feel better, but the other imbalances are going to feel better as well. Another example would be, let's say someone had IBS. That would be a good example. Rather than just give something for, say it was IBS-D, and they had loose stool and they had chronic diarrhea, rather than just give them something like Imodium and stopping the diarrhea, if we could figure out what's the real root cause, what are they reacting to, what are the stressors, is it a food sensitivity, and correcting that, you're not just correcting an inflammatory aspect that's leading to digestive issues. Inflammation is almost always systemic, so you will be correcting that. I'm going on a lot of rambles on this podcast today, so bear with me. Point number 2, less side effects. Much less side effects when you're taking a natural approach. The downside for that, it's going to involve more change. We're going to ask you to do things. We're going to ask you to change exercise routines, change diets, change the way you're thinking, change, don't drink so much coffee, maybe switch for herbal teas, make these types of changes. So less side effects, but more change is required. Point number 3, naturopathic remedies, the vast majority of them have an extremely long history of use. So some of these things have been used for thousands of years, some of them documented for hundreds of years. And what we're seeing now is that there's more and more medical studies coming out showing the benefits of these treatments and of these remedies. Now, will you ever see massive studies come out the same way you see with pharmaceuticals? I doubt it. It's way too expensive to run those studies, and there's way too little money to be made. So you'd never pay for the study if you're using just studying natural remedies. So you won't see that. But there are studies coming out showing the positive effects. It's not even that they're trying to prove necessarily how these things are working. Now they're just more wondering, how are these things working? Because they've already shown through how long they've been in use that the positive effects that they do have. Point number 4, generally speaking, naturopathic remedies are a lot less expensive. Now this can depend on the way if insurance is set up, and also there's a lot of people who dramatically overprice supplements, remedies, their treatments. But when you take the naturopathic approach, and sometimes that approach involves not doing any treatment, sometimes just changing diet and exercise and lifestyle routine, it's much less expensive. And it's not just less expensive from like a financial cost aspect. It's less expensive, again, going back to the side effect aspect of it. You're not trading, one symptom for another. The only thing that you are trading is time. So you will be trading more time, but that's the investment. That's the number one investment from naturopathic treatments is your time. Point number 5, as I mentioned before, it's looking for the root cause. It's so important. Like, for me, that is the underlying aspect of natural remedies, and not natural remedies, natural treatments, is to look for the root cause. Ask the question why 2 or 3 more times than the person or the practitioner before you, so you can figure out a little bit more. And sometimes, unfortunately, you get to a why that you can't correct. So then you go back up to the previous why. But there's never any harm in asking those additional whys. What happened here that caused this? Okay, so why did that happen previous to that? Why did that happen? Ask the extra whats, ask the extra whys, figure out the how. Again, I'm rambling on this one, but it's these... Yeah, I'm very passionate about these principles, so just bear with me. Now, the big factor sometimes that we'll come across is when you design these treatment plans, and I'm sitting across the table or next to a patient, and we get everything sorted out, and then you get okay, well, let me take this and bounce it past my medical doctor and see what they think. And by all means, I write everything out and let them do that. But here's what to expect. They're going to look at the different remedies, they're going to look at the different treatments, and for them, it's so outside of their scope that they're not going to know the reason you're doing any of these things. They're not going to know any of the herbs, they're not going to understand necessarily the diet changes, and because they don't use it in practice, they're going to either see 2 approaches. One, there's MDs who are very in favor of naturopathic medicine, and they'll be like, I don't understand it, but great. I've seen great results coming from this naturopath, so keep working with it. Whereas with the other ones will say, I don't see the point of this, it doesn't make sense to me. They probably won't say that, they'll be thinking it. And then therefore they'll say, oh, you're wasting your time. So you can always bounce things off your MD. I think it's important that both sides are staying informed. If you're working with a medical doctor and a naturopath, it's important that both sides are staying informed. But don't necessarily expect both sides to be giving the other side, the 2 thumbs up every time. So, and again, tying this all back into Able Health. Able Health and it just proves like how affordable these solutions can be. Able Health can help you with the diet plans automatically. It can help you with the supplements, and if you're on certain medications, tell you which supplements you should not be using, and it will automatically remove foods that you should not be using. So if you're looking for a resource, check out ablehealth.us, and I hope this was helpful. I hope you don't mind a little bit of a rant today. I don't know where that came from. This is Doc Yates, signing off. Thanks for tuning in to Simply Health. If you want to learn more about health, check out Able Health. If you want to see some of the other projects that I've been working on in health, business, music, and life, please check out the links below.